What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Call It in the Ring podcast numero dos.
Yo, yo, yo.
Dude, we are not so real quick, everybody. The reason why Peter's laughing so much is because we're recording this podcast for a second time because the last one accidentally the file got messed up because
Reasons.
the file got corrupt or whatnot. It got messed up, so we had to restart. But the last time we started recording this thing, we started talking about Crime Time. If anybody remembers that, which how could you forget? And we spent at maybe a good 5 minutes plus at the beginning of the thing talking about Crime Time, so that people was like, well, hey, if we recording this again, at least we won't spend all the time talking about Crime Time. And then he starts off with the fucking yo yo yo. He was like, I'm gonna humor you, I guess, to an extent, and not go in on Crime Time like we did last time.
I just wanted the reaction. At least we won't talk about Crime Time. Ready to go. Yo, yo, yo.
I said, I'm gonna humor you and not talk about Crime Time like we did last time. But it's taking a lot of restraint to not do that. Oh shit.
Pretty much.
All right, everybody. Appreciate y'all if y'all listened to the last podcast. It was long. The rest of them will not be that long. If it gets to a point like that, we're going to be splitting them into two parts because 3 hours and 13 minutes is a lot to listen to in one sitting. Anyway, Call It a Ring podcast. We are talking about Raw from this past Monday. It is currently April 19th, 2018. We kick things off. This is the Superstar Shakeup. I'm going to say again, since we recorded this one again, for those that don't know, I was asking Pete, since I'm getting back in and watching wrestling, he's going to kind of have to help me if we care about, some of these people, because I may not know. Maybe we should give a fuck about them or maybe we shouldn't. So I want to know if we do or we don't. Anyway, the first match. I thought this was a great way to kick off the fucking Superstar Shakeup. We fucking have Jinder Mahal, and everybody can say what they want about Jinder Mahal, but he came out with Sunil Singh announces him and everything. He comes out and he gives a fucking smattering of boos. Like, they fucking hate this man. And everybody can say what they want about Jinder, but he's doing his job to whatever extent that is. He comes out, United States Championship. He's like, oh shit, so Jinder Mahal's on Raw now. Starts talking to Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle's like, oh, so you want to fucking talk shit, huh? Next thing you know, Jeff Hardy's music plays, and now Jeff Hardy is in a one-on-one match with Jinder Mahal for the title.
Shake it up. Let's go.
Exactly. I thought it was a great way to kick off Raw. Great fucking match. Both men actually looked good. Jinder Mahal is coming into his own, I think. And I mean, it'll be interesting to see what they want to do because Jeff Hardy fucking wins the title. That was nice.
Like I said, it's as good a shake up as you can get. Like, holy shit, new roster change. Holy shit, new champion. Yeah, things are shaking up real fast.
And we'll get into this because we already talked about it. We'll get into this, but they fucking talked about, oh shit, the United States Championship is on Raw now, and then Jeff gets traded to fucking SmackDown.
Yeah.
Really? Okay. All right. Whatever. WWE. WWE loved doing that shit, playing with people's emotions. Like, do you remember that one year when they used to actually do the draft lottery and they fucking drafted Cena to SmackDown
and then later redrafted it to Raw? Yeah, they spent the whole show with Cena drafted to SmackDown. He's happy with every draft change. They draft Kofi Kingston and they show him doing the boom, boom, boom thing in the background. I've seen a gif of that on the internet within the past couple of years. Just
doing the thunderclap.
Yeah, and then later in the show, John Cena's been drafted back to Raw. Wait, what?
That shit was so stupid. Now,
that's not how drafts work. By the way,
I guess. Without going too much into it, I actually was kind of around that time when Cena got drafted early on. I was like, because that was shocking. I was like, oh shit, they got the big star in WWE today on the secondary show. This will really shake shit up.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't pull the trigger.
You see, that's the difference. That was the draft, not the superstar shakeup.
Shut the fuck up. All right, but yo, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what they do with Jeff. Clearly what they're doing is they're pushing both parties in two different ways. So it's nice to see that they put a title on Jeff. Because at one point, Jeff Hardy was probably the most popular fucking person in the goddamn company.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if he can get back to that, barring his demons and all that stuff with substance abuse and shit, not getting into that, I'm not gonna, talk about his life and that shit. But if he can do that, man, and hold his own and shit, he could probably get back to that top spot. Because in his 40s, he can still go. So. So yeah, it was a nice way to start it off. Good, solid match, everything like that. Oh, I forgot to say this last time we recorded, but afterwards, fucking No Way Jose was fucking with Jinder Mahal. That was kind of funny.
Oh yeah, Jinder Mahal was mad. All of a sudden, no way, Jose, no way, Jose.
The only thing that I thought was a little kind of clunky about this segment was in the middle of Jinder talking, the music starts playing out of nowhere, and you couldn't hear what the fuck Jinder Mahal was saying towards the end of what he was saying, and then you're like, what the fuck is this music? And then you see, okay.
At the same time, I think that's the point. The point was it was just cutting him off because fuck you, I got my conga line and theme song going on. It's like a running gag. It's like a WWE version of a running. God damn it! I'll talk about this off stream. But yeah, because I'm gonna spend a lot of time on stuff. But I just thought about it. It's like a running gag for something I wanted to do, like in a movie for a while, like involving conga line / trains type things. Anyway, moving on.
But no, I was just saying it's just funny because he's like, man, whenever I'm mad, I just dance. I was like, bruh, WWE, you are gonna get me to like No Way Jose, and this is probably one of the dumbest gimmicks y'all had in a while, and I love it.
What? It's Rosebuds done right,
Basically, because it's like it's just a dude. His gimmick is I keep my shirt open and I like to dance.
Yeah, that's No Way Jose, and I like to try to work No Way Jose into everything.
Right.
I mean, there's only so much you can do with a name like No Way Jose. You kind of wrote yourself into a corner with the name anyway.
But kudos to my dude who is No Way Jose, because this dude, he is fucking committed and he is playing into this shit, and it works.
Yeah,
it works. Like I said, it'll be interesting though when they have them fucking WrestleMania fucking long ass ramps and he's got to dance down this fucking like WrestleMania 30.
He'll probably just pull a Brodus Clay and just have a segment. Have a segment with dancing involved without having a match.
That shit was stupid. I just saw a clip of that and rewatched it where the mamas was dancing. That shit was stupid. Anyway, going back into it, we already talked about this a little bit on the last one, so I don't know how much more we have to say. But next match, Bayley versus Sasha Banks. Like I had previously said, man, when you got a Bayley and a Sasha Banks match, you know you're gonna have a solid match at the very least.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not a good or a great, it's gonna be solid.
Couple of slip ups at the beginning, like a couple of botches at the beginning, but yes, it was a very solid match because it's the two of them.
Right, like they had 2015, I believe it was. They had what everybody was saying was match of the year. So, NXT
woman match.
Yeah.
I need to go back and watch that.
I
never actually watched it.
I watched. It was like NXT Takeover. I forget where it was, but they had it, and it was a good match. And then the match ends up going to a no contest because both women end up getting beat up, and now we see that the Riot Squad is now officially from, I believe, who was it, NXT to SmackDown to Raw. We can get into it for a second.
I don't like them.
Do we care about the Riot Squad? Like, who are they? Why do we care? Do we care? Like, Help
I
me out
don't
here.
like them, and I'll spell it with an ION like some people like to. I don't like them,
Like,
and not just because they're heels or anything. I don't like them. But then again, granted, I don't know much about them because I didn't watch a lot of SmackDown back in the past. So, but I'll be watching a lot more wrestling. So who knows? I may end up liking them, but for now, I don't like them.
because I'm sorry, you weren't done.
I had them described to me as like Absolution, but the B Squad, and I don't like Absolution. So,
Like, is Absolution anything to fucking like care about? So yeah. I don't know, man. My introduction to the Riot Squad was a little bit that I saw when I was watching WrestleMania 34 last week, and I was like, oh, okay. There's someone named Liv Morgan. Okay, there's Sarah Logan and Ruby Riot. Okay, yay.
aside from Ruby Riot, I didn't know the other two's names.
The only one that I knew about was Liv Morgan, and that's because they kept saying it. And for some reason, from like a distance, Liv Morgan looked like Oksana to me, and I was like, "Is that Oksana repackaged?" So that's why I was like, I was like, "The fuck?" And then Liv Morgan, I don't know if you noticed this. Liv Morgan, I think she's the one with like the blue or green hair or whatever. She had a blue tongue. I don't know if you noticed this, but that stuck out to me for some reason.
Oh yeah, that bitch. Okay, yeah,
That
I didn't
that
know.
was weird.
Yeah.
She had a My phone just went off. But no, she had a blue tongue.
Wrong video, see.
I know, right? But no, she had a blue. For some reason, it was like her blue tongue was like weird.
It is
but like,
weird.
also,
I think that's the
but it was
whole
like,
thing. Is we're weird. Look at Ruby Wyatt.
but no. It was like I was gonna say it was weird, but it was also like kind of sexy to me, and I don't know why. I was like, okay.
Pretty sure there's a popsicle joke or something in there.
Oh, see, I wasn't even going there.
Or something.
I wasn't even going that far.
I won't go.
I wasn't even. I wasn't even trying to do that. I wasn't even trying to do that. Yeah. You actually went there. That's funny. No, but the Riot Squad is on Raw, and we couldn't. The crowd grew silent with indifference. No, so
yeah.
next,
They didn't care.
right. Next, the Authors of Pain against I Got Kids and Rhino. Heath Slater and Rhino.
Forgot the segment right before that.
No, so I'm reading it, and last time we recorded,
we skipped this.
I skipped this one. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. Actually, I want to say because I misspoke last time we were recording. I said they're two black guys. I don't know for certain they're black guys because they're from like I think one of them is from like Armenia, and I don't know where the other one is from.
Yeah.
So I don't want.
Yeah, I noticed that when they came out, like the Armenian Moodoo. I'm like, oh, we totally called them black guys last time.
I don't want to speak on that. I don't know exactly where they're from. They're Akum and Razor. That's their official names.
Razor. That's all I think with a name like Razor. Just Berg.
You know what?
Razor. I just think like Berg, some dude that you just point at something and make him scream, and just he runs at it. With a name like Razor, I mean, it's like Taserface, you know? There's only so many things this person's going to end up being.
Taserface from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, it's a cool sounding name that also is kind of silly.
Taserface.
Taserface.
Who, by the way, is Chris Sullivan, who plays Toby on This Is Us.
Ah, I've never heard of that. So, Authors of Pain beat the shit out of
They end up going over on Heath Slater and Rhino with the last chapter. WWE again with these like corny names, but it is what it is.
I mean, Authors of Pain, last chapter. I heard them say that, and I'm like, okay, I'll give it to him.
Yeah, it was like a clothesline with like I think a backdrop or something. I kind of forget.
Yeah.
Not a backdrop, like a German suplex or some shit like that.
It's kind of cool looking. It works. I feel like it would hurt, and you'd probably stay down.
I mean, it's another good showing for. Honestly, it's a good show for everybody involved. Really, Raw is like this match was more of a squash, but it was still, for what we know of Heath Slater and Rhino, especially Heath Slater right now, this is what we come to expect. So this was another good showing for all four involved. Raw is off to a good start, I think.
Yeah.
And
besides, you can only expect so much out of Heath Slater. He's just one man.
I don't know where you're
but
going
he's
with
the
that.
one man.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Oh man. Anyway, what I was gonna say, so they did that Paul Ellering, and apparently it didn't matter. No. So
we'll
see if it does.
Hear him talk yet, so we'll see.
Yeah, that is the one thing, is like, when it comes time for him to get on the mic, will that matter? Especially because of the language barrier. Yeah. But yeah, like, I mean, this match, it was a decent little match. It wasn't bad. I thought that it was good. Basically, the Authors of Pain are like Raw's new Bludgeon Brothers. So then we have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn officially have employment. They were supposed to be the new guests on Miz TV. We didn't know who the guests were.
Must-see show in WWE history.
Right.
This is Miz TV.
Been for a long time too, man. Like shit. That segment Miz TV, that's been going on for years.
Yeah, he said it to begin with and said it was gonna be a thing. We're like, nah. And then like it was established pretty early on that 9 times out of 10, Miz TV just ended up with people beating up each other and breaking the set. And I'm like, okay, I think I can get behind this Miz TV thing, and that's all it is. It's an excuse to like hit somebody with like a potted plant or something.
But that's what every like talk show segment was for on wrestling. Piper's Pit. Marty Jannetty got thrown through the barbershop window for Brutus the Barber Beefcake when Shawn Michaels became a star. The highlight reel, that's what it was about. Carlito. Never heard of the highlight reel?
No, this whole Shawn Michaels Marty Jannetty thing. Never heard of it.
Oh, okay. Well, this dude Shawn Michaels, he's actually pretty good. You should check him out.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I saw Marty Jannetty last year live. That was fun. He was drunk.
Is that true? Did you really see Marty Jannetty somewhere he was drunk?
Yeah, during the pre-WrestleMania week.
What the fuck?
It was like pre-WrestleMania week. If you guys have never been in a city that hosted a WrestleMania, because I live in Orlando, there's a lot of wrestling to watch, even if you don't get to go to WrestleMania. And we went to like 2 or 3 shows that week, and one of them, Marty Jannetty showed up. So did Billy Gunn. So it was hilarious. But Marty Jannetty came out, and it was like some big, long battle royale type match, and he was clearly drunk and just happy to be there.
Was he wrestling, or was he just there?
Oh, he was wrestling.
He was wrestling drunk as shit. What the fuck?
Hey, it's nothing compared to the 90s. People would just wrestle coked out as all shit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it is what it is. It's just he was clearly drunk.
you hear about Shawn Michaels and like how he talks about his past life before he got born again and all the shit that he said he used to do. So yeah, motherfuckers do that shit, man.
Anyway, yes, I know who Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels are for people at home. All right, so moving on.
You know I know. Well, I was gonna say real quick. Me and Ibn, again, those for y'all listening, Ibn is my brother. Me and Ibn were actually at some like local bar and grill or whatever when they were having like WrestleMania one year, and then randomly Sabu walked in. Like fucking said this was like probably, this had to be over 5 years ago. Like, and fucking Sabu just like walked in, and like in the middle of the match that we were like watching, it's like, you know, towards the end of like the show, they like get over the intercom and say, everybody, ladies and gentlemen, the wrestler Sabu is here. And, you know, it's like, if you want to get an autograph, it's so much money for this. And if you want to take a picture, it's so much money, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, and they looked over, it was really Sabu with his like long little head dress, like turban thingy. I don't want to offend anybody. I'm not sure what that's called. I don't want to offend anybody, but he had that on. And you look over, it's like, that's really Sabu. What the fuck are you doing here? So
Pointing at the sky, probably.
right, like randomly in fucking like St. Louis. Like, what the hell? So
Good old Sabu.
anyway, we find out from Sami Zayn after Kurt Angle's like, what the fuck? No, I fired y'all. Sami Zayn is like, actually, no. Basically, in shortened words, long story short, Stephanie was like, Kurt, fuck you. You acted out of emotions. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are good guys. They deserve to be on a Raw. Fuck you, you emotional bitch. They're employed again. I'm Stephanie McMahon. Because I'm Stephanie McMahon.
Yup.
I'm Stephanie McMahon. Damn it.
Yeah, I said this the first time. I am loving like heel Sami Zayn as like a tandem to Kevin Owens because it's some of the most obnoxious shit I've seen with the whole yup thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh man, this is great.
They had a shirt one time that said yep, yep, yep. Right.
Yeah, because they were doing shit with Daniel Bryan in a heel but not really heel kind of way. Like, but no, I just think SmackDown's the land of opportunity, Shane. Sure, I'm helping them all the time, but I think you're just being mean to the other indie wrestlers.
It would have been interesting to me to see what they could have done a little more with the whole "you're fired, we need to get a job" storyline. But at the same time, I get it because how much more can you do before it gets old?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why, like, I'm a little torn because part of me is like, well, I would have wanted to see what the fuck they would have done.
Mm-hmm.
But then part of me is like, what more could they really do before we're like fucking give them a job?
Also, now we have the reverse of what was on SmackDown, where SmackDown. Now I just thought about this. SmackDown, they had the whole deal because they can't go back to SmackDown anyway, storyline wise. But SmackDown, we had the whole deal where we had a McMahon that didn't like them, and a crowd favorite that was helping them for some reason. And now we have a crowd favorite that doesn't like them and a McMahon that's helping them. We flipped it around.
So it's flipped.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. And one more thing that came out of this segment, and this is what you said on the last podcast, and you were so right, which is what everybody was clamoring for. And this is going to be for some good TV if they get it right. Miz and Daniel Bryan are now on the same show.
Oh yeah. That was Kurt Angle's whole reasoning for sending him to SmackDown storyline wise. Like, apparently Daniel Bryan still has to pull a SmackDown. He really wants a piece of you.
Yeah, right. He still had a little bit more pull because he just got off of being general manager, right? I mean, if they do this right, man, this will be good TV. Like,
will it be Miz TV?
Must see TV. No, because this is like, I went back and I watched that Talking Smack segment. Jesus Christ, Miz. That dude, did you see his eyes, the way he was looking? He was fired up.
Here's the thing about Miz. He'll say some stuff, he'll get boos and everything, but what makes Miz so good, especially the past couple of years, is that he just goes out and tells the truth, whether you want to hear it or not.
And I mean, he really is one of the best talkers on TV right now. Mm-hmm. When it comes to like, Raw and SmackDown. And I mean, the funniest thing about the Miz too is, like you said, like, he's a heel and he gets booed, but he's so like charismatic and captivating that the crowd will say his catchphrase with him and then boo him right after. Mm-hmm. That shit is so fun. Like, because he puts his hand in the air, everybody says, "My hand goes up, your mouth goes shut." Boo!
I haven't heard the crowd saying the hand goes up line, but
said it with him, dude. They said that shit with him, man.
That's hilarious. I usually hear the boos. I did not hear that. That's hilarious.
On the Raw simulcast, when they did the whole like not the simulcast, but the the two different locations for Raw 25th anniversary, and I watched a little bit of documentary when the Miz went to the I forget what the location was where they had the first Raw.
I got you.
But when he went there, he stuck his hand in, and of course everybody's cheering for him because these are more like, diehard fans or whatever. Mm-hmm. But he sticks his hand in the air. He realizes the crowd is more on his side. He said, "Say it with me," and everybody said, "When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut." Like everybody said it with his ass.
Yeah. Like I'm not surprised that they said it. I just didn't hear it on Monday.
Yeah, he's so captivating and charismatic and good on the mic that everybody says that with them. They say the whole awesome and all that.
Yeah, awesome. They've been saying that forever.
And then they boo the shit out of him right after.
Yep.
Like when it was time for him to walk out, and like the crowd is like anticipating saying awesome with his music, and they go awesome, and then they start booing. That's just hilarious.
Yeah.
Next match. The weirdest in the best way possible team on Raw right now, Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy versus the Revival. Man, this was to see who was going to end up qualifying to face the Bar at the Greatest Royal Rumble. Of course, Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy won. Mm-hmm. And I mean, have they been doing this whole woken with the glass breaking graphic before Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt come out lately? Is this new?
The Woken graphic with the breaking has been going on since Woken Matt Hardy was a thing.
Okay.
Since Woken, quote unquote, Matt Hardy. Because, they can't say broken. Either they can't, or I don't think they could say broken to begin with because they were still in the lawsuit.
Yeah,
but they had Woken and then you break glass.
Right.
So it's still broken. But
it's broken Matt Hardy, obviously. It's broken Matt Hardy. They just can't say it.
But yeah, they've had the Woken graphic when they had the back and forth between him and Bray. So, yeah.
Hey, I love this team, man. This is what both of them need. Like I said, first of all, I said this last week, Matt Hardy's a fucking genius. Matt Hardy reinvented himself. Yep. And he is doing a character that everybody wants to see every week. And this is exactly what Bray needs, because Bray Wyatt needed a little bit more of like he needed a little bit of a push, just a little bit.
Well, some people, like my roommate, for instance, had grown tired of him because, and not necessarily because of anything of him in particular, but more of the character. Because he comes out, he does his Bray Wyatt speech and spiel of blah, 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 buzzards this, boobadoo, run, true face of fear, but ends up always losing. So it lost like all its mystique for real. And it's just like, and after a while, it just becomes whatever. No one cares. All you do is come and talk this shit and waste like 10 minutes, and nothing's going to come of this. So he needed something to go his way, in the sense like this tag team, where you can try and make him more of a.
Yeah, you stick him with somebody. Like, this is what both of them need right now. And it makes sense because they're the two, like, most whacked out characters on Raw right now. So put them together. It makes Stone Cold said on his podcast though about Bray Wyatt, where he was saying that sometimes if you give a dude enough time, you can basically give him enough rope and he'll end up hanging himself without trying to. Yeah. And that's kind of what they did with Bray, because a lot of people were saying that originally Bray was so captivating with his the character and his promos and stuff, but he was then starting to get out there, and a lot of people were starting to get turned off by the nonsense that he was spewing, because it was like, what the fuck are you talking about? So a lot of people were starting to get turned off because they were like, okay, shut up. And unfortunately, that was kind of what was happening. So I think this is.
But if he would have like kept winning, or when they had him take the Undertaker and Kane's powers temporarily, if they would have gone further than, I don't know, 2 weeks with that, and actually made him be like, oh shit, this guy's got the superpowers of Kane and the goddamn Undertaker, then you could have gotten a lot more out of him and actually made him the quote-unquote true face of fear.
because a lot of people were saying at the time when he first came that he was this generation's not Kane, Undertaker, and in a lot of ways he is.
Yeah,
Supernatural.
but that's very much a lesser Undertaker.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying like super.
They just mistreated it. They did it
But
wrong.
he's like supernatural
Yo, I get
cult
what you're
leader when
saying.
he had the Wyatt family and then Braun Strowman for a bit. Yeah,
Yeah, I get it. Who
but
wasn't
yeah, I
part
got
of
you.
the
So,
Wyatt family?
but this is like the resurgence that they both need, especially Bray. And like I said, for them being the two craziest, most whacked out characters, this makes so much sense. Then we find out that Breezango is now on Raw, and the Fashion Police gave the bar a citation for Sheamus having a weird hairdo with his mohawk and them wearing skirts, even though they were killed. I thought this was cool. I like the Fashion Police.
From everything I heard, like there was a good couple months where my roommate was saying they were the best thing about SmackDown with their
Right.
segments. So I'm kind of happy to finally be able to see
I like the Fashion
some
Police.
Fashion Police shit. That, and I've always been a fan of fucking Tyler Breeze and just the stupid pretty boy character with the fucking selfie cam to come out and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And his fucking theme, just like, okay, this guy is fucking hilarious. Then they combined it with the goddamn Fandango thing.
Fandango. And they're just like they're just the silliest of silly shit.
It
I
was
love
and I feel like, and I got the feel from them that I got out of like New Day early on. Well, not early on, but middle of the first run of the New Day, where it was like, hey, we gave this group a throwaway gimmick because we don't really know what to do with them. And then they said, fuck you, we're making the most out of it.
On some Damien Sandow Mizdow shit.
Yeah, on some Mizdow shit.
Because like Mizdow, that was some throwaway gimmick, and fucking Damien Sandow got that shit over. So yeah, he ended up being one of the most over things on Raw, and that was a throwaway gimmick. Just copy everybody. But I mean, you see this dude like outside the ring, talk about Mizdow. You see this dude outside the ring like reacting to the Miz getting beat up. Like, dude, he was committed. So yeah. Next, real quick, then we see another new superstar shakeup. Natalya is now on Raw, and apparently she's been good friends with Ronda Rousey, and they were talking to Kurt about it. So basically, this was just planting the seed for when Ronda was going to save Natalya later that night. We're good friends. If you make sense. But I mean, like I said, I got to hand it to Natalya. I said this last week on this podcast. I got to hand it to Natalya. She been wrestling for a long time. She can still go in the ring very good. Let's put on the flagship, see what happens. The problem, though, I will say, is pretty much since Natalya started, they've never really had anything to give her, man.
What do you mean? Cat ears are great.
Oh no, my bad. The whole farting storyline.
Oh, how could I forget? As a reference to "Butt the Shit Man Fart," I remember.
What?
Apparently, that used to be like my roommate was saying. That used to be a joke people would say it a lot. 90s like elementary school kids, and it's like I think Vince finally heard about the "Butt the Shit Man Fart" thing, but Brett's not around, so let's just have Natalya fart a bunch.
I've never heard anybody.
I'm not saying that's true. No? I'm not saying that's true, but I remember someone telling me that, and I'm like, I could see it. Like, "Butt the shit man fart." Why did we never do anything with that? Anyway, I'm also gonna stop with the whole I meant to say earlier, I'm gonna stop with the whole like backstage rumor shit that I hear from a roommate because I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna go with what I see on TV.
But what was I gonna say? When Natalya first started, they teamed her with David Hart Smith and Tyson Kidd, who was supposed to be the last person to train in like Stewart's dungeon, I believe. And David Hart Smith, who he had some type of lineage to
British Bulldog.
Yeah. I think he was like his son. Yeah. Yeah. So then Natalia, of course, so they teamed them up, and then instead of being the Hart Foundation, they were the Hart Dynasty. That made a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
But then they didn't do much with them.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, Natalia has basically just been in and out of storylines that nobody gives a fuck about.
Mm-hmm.
So as much as I'm like, good on you, Natalia, for still being in the company, they just, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens with Natalia. Like you said, the most they've given her character lately is just cat ears. That's the best they could come up with for her now.
It's like, woo, cat ears.
Because I mean, even Mickie James, who was in the next match with Ember Moon, even Mickie James, they teamed her up with Alexa Bliss.
Yeah,
Like
which
they did something.
When they did that didn't make any fucking sense because she spent the past few months like insulting Mickie James, and then just we're best buds now. What?
Calling her old and shit, yeah. But I mean,
and then they proceed to start a storyline where they call Nia Jax fat, even though Mickie James left the company years ago for that whole Piggy James thing.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Which the Piggy James storyline didn't bother me as much as I know it was bothering a lot of people. But the reason behind it shows just how much Vince McMahon can be a petty motherfucker when he wants to be. He's like, oh, I can't fire you because you're a little chubby. So I'm just going to make all these fucking, like, this big storyline where we basically just, as people say nowadays, body shame the shit out of you until hopefully you lose weight.
She wasn't even chubby.
She wasn't. No, she looked fine.
The same that she looks now.
I think so.
Like, that's what bothered me about it. I'm like, she's not even fit.
I think so.
It's like, I'm still not necessarily pro them making fun of Nia Jax, but Nia Jax is at least actually a big woman.
I feel you. But I mean,
like, she pulls it off and everything, but still.
The reason why the Piggy James thing didn't bother me as much as it did a lot of people storyline wise is because Lay Cool at that time was supposed to be assholes. So now, but then you find out the real world connotation, and then it's like, oh shit, that's not okay. So yeah. Ember Moon beat Mickie James. She won with the Eclipse. Now I was saying last week, what the fuck is the Eclipse? I know what it is, and it's nice actually. The Eclipse is.
I saw it. I was like, oh shit, that's what the Eclipse is. I remember it had something to do with like a flip thing, and then I'm like, oh wait, that's the Eclipse. Okay, I can deal with that.
It's like a somersault off the turnbuckle into a stunner.
Yeah, I can believe that someone gets fucked up by that.
Yeah, because
a stunner with momentum. Yeah, all right, you got me.
Right, like the Stone Cold Stunner did enough, and now I'm jumping off of this fucking turnbuckle to do it. Yeah. Then next segment we have Dolph Ziggler comes out. So Dolph Ziggler's on Raw, and Dolph Ziggler comes out. Titus Worldwide tries to get him to join, but Ziggler says, "No, I got somebody else."
Titus.
Oh,
Worldwide. Oh, by the way, they took away Apollo's last name, but let him still wear the shirt with the last name on it.
Apollo Crews, yeah. His shirt still says Crews?
Yes, his shirt said Apollo Crews, but they took away his last name. Right, and they took away his last name literally the week after Titus comes up with the catchphrase, Crews can't lose. So he tried to make a catchphrase out of his name, like on TV. Crews can't lose, and he like wondered, like Crews can't lose. Next week he's just Apollo.
That's like, well, they should put him in a team with Heath Slater, just so your head can explode.
Who knows? Maybe one day he'll get his last name back. I doubt it.
I don't know, man. Cesaro ain't been Antonio Cesaro for
he lost
years.
His first name. Harper and Rowan lost their first names. Big E lost his last name.
Yeah. Although Big
Charlotte, it was weird. Charlotte came in as Charlotte Flair. Then for whatever reason, they took the Flair off, and then she got it back.
I'm about to say, yeah, she started Flair now, yeah.
Yeah, she lost her last name, and then they're like, "What the fuck are we doing? Give her fucking last name back. That's a fucking Flair."
I mean, she comes out with the robes and does a figure four with a bridge.
Yeah, it's just like,
So
why? Why take the last name off? Just let her be Charlotte.
like
everyone knows who the fuck she is.
Everything screams Flair, like, you know, from her entrance and everything. All right, so but yeah, Dolph Ziggler comes out. They said join our group, but Dolph Ziggler says no, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere,
sorry to ruin your party.
We see McIntyre comes out. We'll see what Drew McIntyre can do. From what I remember of Drew McIntyre, Now, you saw this whole Drew McIntyre first introduction to him years ago different than I did.
I liked it.
I thought it was dumb as fuck.
I loved it because you had R-Truth coming out every week, and then you just had this apparent because there's kind of a jobber entrance thing where the dude's just waiting on R-Truth. R-Truth spends all 5 minutes coming down to the ring, just gets smacked upside the head, and Drew McIntyre's like, "I'm Drew McIntyre, shut the fuck up." 2 weeks later, "What's up? What's up? I'm Drew McIntyre. Shut the fuck up." He does not do parties. Okay? That's just what he does. He just, don't say the character. Just he was the shut the fuck up. I'm here to beat your ass. And it was just funny to me with the contrast. I like the way they debuted him. Also, I didn't mind the song. I hated the long intro version because it was kind of a slow thing. But I did like the whole out of time, so say goodbye thing. I was going to make a joke about that, eventually his thing ran low and, he ran out of time, so he said goodbye and went to TNA. But now he's back. And what is yours? Now is his.
The intro to Drew McIntyre's song, because like you said, he has great intro music, but the intro, that shit was a fucking, mood killer, man. That shit, it would make you want to, it would put you to sleep, man.
Then again, he's very anti-hyping parties. So it fits with the character. Everyone's like, yeah! Because technically his first words was, "Sorry to ruin your party, but I'm Drew McIntyre."
I remember his debut. Years ago.
So technically the anti-hype thing of it really worked with what they were trying to go for with the character, because he's like, "Fuck your fun. I'm here at a serious time now. Your party's ran out of time. Say goodbye to it."
Hopefully they can do more with this dude now.
No, he's a lot better in the ring and everything.
Yeah.
But also with him being there, I said this on the first podcast, but now I can say it officially. All members of 3MB are back on the same show.
All members of 3MB are
They're
on
a three-man band, baby. Which is funny because when they had a superstar shakeup either last year or the year before, and Drew McIntyre was on NXT and Jinder was on SmackDown and Heath was on Raw, Heath tweeted out something like, "Oh man, I'm on Raw, Jinder's on SmackDown, and Drew's on NXT. We're a 3-man brand, baby."
And brand, that's funny.
So he's sticking with it. He is the only one holding on to the 3MB, which I think is hilarious.
Could you imagine if because the three of them are okay, so Jinder is a former champion and U.S. champion, and then you got fucking Drew is a former NXT champion.
Oh my god.
Heath Slater is teaming with Rhino, and he's got
tag team champion. He's a former tag team champion.
Huh?
He's a former tag team champion.
Who, Jinder?
No, Heath.
Oh, Heath. Oh, so Heath is a former tag team champion.
Yeah. So last year with the whole him and Rhino, I have kids thing. That's how he got his job back. Whenever they first teamed up, was they ended up teaming up together, and then they won the tag team championships and held it for at least a couple months.
Could you imagine if now that they're much they're all better, from where they were then?
They bring them back, but as a credible stable.
They fucking bring 3MB back, and now they're they're bigger, better at wrestling.
It's a lesser version of the Shield reunion. It's just the reunion no one
And like
asked for.
3 and B becomes like somewhat of an actual credible thing.
Yeah, I'm saying
I'd be like, what?
they bring them back, but this time they're credible. It's like,
I
oh
was
shit, it's 3 and B. Now they're good for more than just using the line, "What part of shut up do you not hablo español?"
They used to say that shit.
He said that to Alberto Del Rio once. Drew McIntyre did. Full on, Scottish accent
That's
or
funny.
whatever. There's what part of shut up do you not hablo español?
That's actually pretty fucking funny.
Especially because they were trying to be the ignorant, we speak English in America.
Right.
And
Right.
they responded in Spanish, and so he's just like, I'm like, wow, this is the most ignorant thing I've heard in a while.
It looks like right now what they're gonna do because of how they introduced him to Raw. We'll see, but it looks like they're probably gonna have Drew powering around with Ziggler for a little bit.
Yeah, totally.
Because and then eventually, but for right now, that looks like what
they're probably not putting the band back together.
But I mean, if they did, like now that they're more credible, and like I said, gender is fucking huge now. Like that'd be like crazy, man.
Roids will do that to you.
What'd you say?
I said Roids will do that to you.
What did you say?
I mean, the dude's got veins on top of his veins. I'm not saying there's any credible source to it. I just said Roids will do that to you.
Oh yeah, see, I stopped myself from saying roided up, but yeah, he looks like it. I don't know. He could just have a bomb ass exercise routine and like be the real Mr. No Days Off. Shout out to Darren Young. I don't know. Just saying.
Well, there's roids and then there's supplements. Those are two different things, apparently.
Very
so
true.
One's illegal, one's not. He's probably on a lot of supplements. So, at the very least.
One will shrink your dick and one won't too. But yeah. Next segment. Moving on. Roman Reigns talks about Brock Lesnar. All of a sudden, Samoa Joe comes out. Now, again, we'll get into this, but I thought this was interesting. Samoa Joe made an appearance on fucking Raw and SmackDown.
Well, they said earlier on in the show that the Superstar Shakeup on Raw mainly just dealt with people coming to Raw. The people that were already on Raw would find out their fate on SmackDown.
True, they did say it.
So,
is Samoa Joe supposed to be a heel?
Yes.
Okay, because that dude gets cheered like fuck.
It's fucking Samoa Joe.
Right, everybody likes Samoa Joe, but
he's supposed to be a heel. He's supposed to, like, especially because they're putting up on him against Roman. He's supposed to be a heel.
That's what I thought. I was thinking, I was like, maybe they're trying to make him a heel because he's against Roman Reigns. But, I mean, well, and he did some heel stuff, like he teased that he's going to fight Roman. Yeah. Then he, like, went back and, like, nah, fuck it. Then he, like, threw his towel down and went up and he was like, but then he's like, nah. And that's heel stuff. Because the heel thing is, I'm going to deny you to see me fight right now.
Yeah.
But everybody cheers when his music hits. Everybody screams Joe along with the beat.
Yeah,
like
it's fucking Joe.
Don't nobody hate Samoa Joe, man. So I don't know.
Yeah, he's just a dude. He's just straight up serious business all the time. He's just an angry looking motherfucker. So I'm a fan of the people that are. If you know me, usually if someone's just an angry looking, angry acting motherfucker, I'm probably gonna be a fan of them. I've always been a fan of like just the Berg type characters, just go in, just mow down people. That's why I'm a big fan of Brock and Braun and that kind of shit. Because they're just, no, you don't mess with this person, okay? They're just not a happy person. Why did you bother pissing them off today? Oh, you didn't? They decided to fuck with you? Well, you're screwed. I'm sorry.
You're not the only one. Yeah. But no, like, yeah, that's why I was like, is he supposed to be a heel? Because everybody, including me, likes this man. I don't get it. So, and I mean, then of course, like he leaves, nothing happens to Roman, but nobody likes Roman, so fuck you. Anyway, next match, Natalya ends up beating Mandy Rose. Now help me out here, man. Do we care about Mandy Rose?
Absolution? I think I already said absolutely.
Oh, was that Absolution?
Yeah, she's part of Absolution. Her
Okay.
and Sonya Deville are Absolution. They were teamed with Paige, and people cared about Absolution a bit because Paige was part of it. And now they don't have Paige, so
Sonya Deville basically comes out and attacks Natalia after the match is over. Ronda Rousey, because they've been friends for years, saves Natalia. They run out. Big whoop.
yep.
Like, we can move on.
And so we shall.
And then Mr. End of Days, basically, we say, well, Baron Corbin, fuck you. You don't even get to be on Raw. We're just going to show a graphic.
Or a vignette.
Right.
It works. It made him look scary. I also like Baron Corbin. Some people don't, but I like the character because the character doesn't give a fuck about shit. I'm sorry. I like the don't give a fuck. I just gotta mow people down. But he's like even more I don't give a fuck. Like there's been times where he's just gotten himself disqualified in matches and just like whatever. It's like, but Baron Corbin lost his chance to do something. Like at the same time. Oh, my roommate's like, at the same time, that fits with his character because he just doesn't give a fuck about anything. And apparently he gets a lot of shit on Twitter or whatever from people that think he's boring, and then he'll just, like, respond back like, fuck you, I'm on TV, you ain't.
That's hilarious. But yeah, so Baron Corbin is on Raw now, so as much as everybody was saying that, you know, he won the Battle Royal, but they didn't push him, we'll see what happens now because he's on Raw.
Well, it wasn't an instant push. He's gotten better over the past couple years. Because remember, he won it like 2 to 3 years ago.
No, I know he won it a few years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
The person who won it just like last week was Matt Hardy.
Yeah. Fucking, what's his name? Mojo Rawley and Antonio Cesaro also didn't get anything. Antonio Cesaro took a while before his push from that went over.
Cesaro upset me the way they did that, man, because he was the first one when they first did it, and that was when I was still kind of watching on the regular, and it looked like they were using this to really push him, and he was over as shit with the crowd because he was so strong. Everybody was like, "This dude, like, it doesn't make sense how strong he is." He got over that way.
Yeah.
And then like they didn't really do nothing, and they teamed him with Paul Heyman, even though he was getting cheers. And Paul Heyman usually teams with faces. So heels. So that was weird.
But he teams with heels and makes people happy to see said heels because Paul Heyman.
Right, true. But yeah, now Cesaro's thing was they kind of messed that up.
Then they gave him the fucking yodeling gimmick and all that shit.
What they're doing with him and Sheamus with the bar right now is some of the best stuff that I think they could do for Cesaro and Sheamus at the moment. Because I was not a Sheamus fan and haven't been for a long time. I like Sheamus now. I'd never liked Sheamus for the longest time. I like him now.
Oh, yeah. Fucking Coach. During that tag team match, they had the bar watching on commentary. And Coach is like, what does the bar even mean? They're like, it means we don't set the bar. We are the bar. And he's like, yeah, but what does that mean? And they're just like, are you fucking kidding me?
Hey, man. Hey. I gotta say.
Dude, lately the commentators have just been shitting on each other. It's hilarious.
I was about to say, I gotta say, man, I was listening to the commentary for this shit. What the fuck are they talking about? Are they watching Raw?
They are, and then they just also start just calling each other out whenever they make a fucking mistake. Like, oh, so.
I'm like, what the fuck are y'all talking about?
Oh, he's wearing blue. Does that mean he's projecting that he wants to go on the SmackDown? He always wears blue.
Oh, and then because usually what happens is they'll say something like that, and then there'll be like awkward silence for like 3 or 4, and then they'll be like, "Shit, okay," like an awkward ass silence.
But no, I like it. It's like I like the dynamic. Just that there is one. Because I feel like some of them actually don't like each other. But Corey Graves amuses me.
It does kind of feel like sometimes Corey Graves, like he doesn't have a problem with Coach, but it feels like sometimes Corey Graves, like he might actually think Coach is a dumbass. Like he might actually feel that way.
Yeah, and like I feel like there's some actual animosity building up between Corey Graves and Coach because there might have been some between him and Booker too, just because he like literally will call you out the second you say something, and he just like tries to make you look like an idiot. But at the same
And not,
time, if you say something stupid,
but the way Corey Graves doesn't just do it in like a heel way. The way he does it, it's like, damn,
yeah,
I'm sorry. But yeah, so I don't know. The commentary, I was listening to it and I was like, okay, what the like sometimes it's cool, but sometimes I was even like, okay, y'all shut the fuck up. Like that's I was kind of feeling it. But whatever. Uh then we got Breezango, the Fashion Police, they end up defeating the Bar. We've already talked about Breezango and the Bar enough, so we can move on to the next match. Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, and what?
Oh yeah, when Kurt made this match, this is just like this is the most yo ass ain't winning team he could fucking pick. It's just like, all right, so you got the main event. It'll be the Miz Taraj and Kevin
Miz.
Owens and Sami Zayn. Well, Miz Taraj, I'm counting Miz, obviously.
Okay,
and Kevin
right.
Owens and Sami Zayn versus Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, Bobby Lashley, Braun Strowman. I'm like, okay, they're losing already, but you just throw in Braun's big ass and someone else.
And a mystery opponent, right? And then the mystery opponent is the last and newest draft to fucking Raw, and that is Mr. Glorious.
No, I won't give in. I won't give in till I'm victorious. I love the fucking theme. And I will defend. I will defend. Huh?
That's a nice. It got a nice theme and a nice entrance.
Yeah.
With, the white robe on the pillar that like spins around with the like smoke and shit. No, that was nice.
It's great.
And I mean, this match ended with since the Miz is going to SmackDown. The Miz tries to make a tag. Both Miz Taraj members, one by one, hop off the ropes.
Yeah, because Kurt said that he was only sending Miz and not the Miz Taraj.
Right. So Curtis Axel jumps off first, Bo Dallas jumps off second, and they basically turn it back on the Miz to walk away. Braun Strowman whooped his ass. I don't feel no kind of way about the Miz Taraj doing this in a way. I mean, I guess
I don't know what they're gonna do with him.
I had already kind of expected that if the Miz is moving to SmackDown by himself, that the Miz Taraj is not coming with him. Yeah. So, I mean, or since they're not coming with him, that they're not going to try to like make them a back and forth. But this was basically just hammering home that they're breaking the team up.
You know what? It's probably a big misdirection, or a misdirection, if you will. They're probably going to show up in a couple of weeks on SmackDown and Miz be like, ha, I pull strings because I'm the Miz. And this is what I do. Because they a few weeks ago, they teased them breaking up because like Seth and Finn started talking shit, and then the Miz accidentally like let slip, like he's like, I'm better than Shawn. I'm better than Mr. Perfect. And Curtis Axel gets mad. And then he says something else that pisses off Bo Dallas. And then they're all like walking up like they're gonna attack him. And then they just attack Seth Rollins and Finn.
Yes, okay. So
because they're like, fuck you. Also, I really don't know what they're gonna do with the Miz Taraj, because the whole point of the Miz Taraj being formed was Miz going, WWE isn't doing anything with these guys and they're third generation superstars. Why the fuck is no one doing anything with them? I'm gonna put them as my lackeys. That's the storyline reason. Miz going,
that was a storyline reason.
Yes. Like I said, Miz's character just speaks the fucking truth. He goes, we got these two third generation superstars in the back. WWE's not doing anything with them. Well, I'm putting them on the team and doing this and doing that.
I was gonna ask you, did you hear that from like behind the scenes? But
No,
that's
that's
storyline.
him. That's him saying it. And then, like, after the first time that they help him, like, at a pay per view, or no, last year at WrestleMania, they did something or whatever, and or shortly after, some pay per view, shortly after, like, the whole Miz Taraj thing was going on. They asked him, like, in a backstage interview after the thing, like, oh, Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas, how you doing? How do you guys feel about this? And then someone, I think Bo Dallas is like, or Curtis Axel, like, I haven't been on a WWE pay per view in 3 years. So if you're asking me if I'm okay being with this, I'm perfectly fine being part of the Mr. Rock.
I'm not mad at that at all, man.
Yeah, storyline reason was Miz recorded the Marine X and was like, they were both in it, and he's like, I love these guys. You guys are going to be part of my new entourage, or the Miz Taraj.
They were both in the fucking Marine the Miz was in?
Yeah,
Okay.
as like supporting roles, but yes. Because the Miz has been in like 3 Marines now. He's the Marine. The Marine movie's about the fucking Miz now.
Yeah, no, I know that because they did them with Cena. I think they did one with Orton.
They were about to do one with Orton.
Oh, okay.
And we're told no by
the
Marines.
Shit. By the Marines?
Yeah, from what I've heard.
Rumors. Are we?
I'll talk about that more off screen. But I was told they were told no, and so they chose to Miz.
Oh shit. Okay. Well,
I could be wrong. Blah blah. Disclaimer.
Yeah. Basically, like I said, it just hammers home that nothing. I mean, and it could be a big ass swerve, like you said. But maybe they're going to try one more time to do some solo shit with Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel since it didn't work previously. So we'll see.
I mean, they could always just, I don't know, have the Wyatt family involve someone from his actual family. If the Wyatt and Hardy thing eventually breaks up. Because Bo is his actual brother.
Right, yeah. They've been trying forever with Curtis, man. Like, that shit.
And the sucky part is he's actually pretty good. They just don't do it right. He had a good thing. Him and Sandow had a good thing going with the Axelmania and what's his name doing the Randy Savage impersonation, Sandow. But then Hulk Hogan had to go and become controversial, so they had to squash the gimmick.
It's kind of like, and then we can move on, but that's kind of like when they were doing the primetime players, and that shit was getting over, but then Abraham Washington kept saying controversial ass shit.
More unstoppable than Kobe Bryant in a hotel room. Like,
he's beating him like Chris Brown and Rihanna, some wild ass. Like, bruh, stop.
Yeah, it was the Kobe Bryant in a hotel room that really got him fired because, like, literally the next day on ESPN, someone talked about it. Someone talked about it on ESPN, like, I'm ashamed of WWE, and then he got fired.
But no, he said that after they told him stop and he got in trouble. Then he went and said some more shit. And it was like, okay, dude. Like, but yeah, so before we move on to SmackDown, so we find out that this is the list of everybody who is being transferred to Raw from the Superstar Shakeup. Jinder Mahal, and now he doesn't have the title anymore because Jeff took it. We got the Riot Squad, Ruby Wyatt, Sarah Logan, Liv Morgan, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, Zack fucking Ryder, Breezango, Natalya, Dolph Ziggler, Drew McIntyre, Baron Corbin, Mojo Rawley, Bobby Roode, Chad Gable, The Ascension of Connor and Victor, and Mike Kanellis. There you go.
Okay.
This is SmackDown. Two SmackDowns after WrestleMania, the big Superstar shakeup. Basically, we start things off. We have AJ Styles ends up getting defeated. I believe. Well, actually, let me not misspeak. The show starts off with Rusev and Aiden English coming out. Or am I misspeaking here, Pete?
AJ Styles comes out.
Okay.
Starts talking about how he wants to fight Shinsuke because Shinsuke keeps punching him in the dick. And
Which
he's
later
like,
on tonight.
I know you don't speak English, but get your ass out here because I ain't trying to talk.
Right.
And then you hear,
Right.
and then Aiden English comes out, does his thing with the Rusev Day crowd. Crazy as fuck about Rusev Day because they're always crazy as fuck about Rusev Day. And
Rusev Day is so fucking over, man.
yes, it
Jesus
is.
Christ.
One of my top selling merches is stuff related to Rusev Day.
Rusev Day is so over that when Aiden, I don't know if you noticed this, when Aiden English came out and did his whole Rusev Day thing, you know how the microphone has the WWE logo?
Yeah.
I don't know
He
if
has a
I don't know if
happy
you saw,
Rusev Day microphone.
yeah, on his mic, man. I
Yeah,
was
dog.
like, wow.
People love them some Rusev. I also love some Rusev. I don't know if you noticed about me, but Rusev is one of these like big dudes that just kind of goes like Berg and charges at things. You know, Rusev Crush and Rusev Kill. I really like those kinds of characters.
See, when I stopped watching wrestling, Rusev didn't mean shit. I come back and Rusev is like the best thing on TV now. Like, what the hell? It's fucking crazy.
Well, every time they try to kill this guy, he just gets better and better. And they're like, "Hey, we're gonna take away Lana because that's what they people like about him." He's like, "Oh, that's what they thought." You know what I mean? Like, because everyone's like, "We want Lana." Clap, 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 clap. Fine, we'll take away Lana. Give her to Ziggler. Give her to Ziggler. Have this whole crappy storyline, and then they go ahead and get like engaged IRL, and they're like, "Well, fuck. I guess we got to keep him with Lana." Damn, right. We tried to kill off Rusev, but we couldn't. And then they do all this other shit, and it's just like, nah, dog. This is Rusev.
They did have they did have The Rock like say some shit like on air one time that I thought was just like some shit they just wrote, but apparently that was like them actually trying to fuck with them. Where The Rock said something about, "Hey man, she's actually real flexible," and like made these fucking jokes to like kind of like on air dig at Rusev and shit. Yeah.
Oh yeah, where he tried to act like they slept together or whatever. Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was just The Rock being The Rock and like his character, but that was like actually the like creative fucking with Lana and Rusev. Like, yeah.
Fair. Yeah. I thought it was just The Rock being The Rock. You would have told me that. I'd been like, okay, sounds like The Rock.
Yeah. I heard somewhere that was like the like soft stuff, but that was like them actually fucking with them. But yeah, so Rusev, AJ Styles, in this match, Aiden English attacks him, calls a no DQ. Daniel Bryan comes out and makes the save for AJ Styles. So then a little bit later, we end up having Paige sets up a match, a tag team match, AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan later on tonight with Rusev and Aiden English. And she does her own like Teddy Long impression. She says, in the words of Teddy Long, it's a tag team match, player. And then does like the little Teddy Long dance and shit.
Is it bad that the second I saw the fact that they had Daniel Bryan come out and help and do that, I actually thought Paige was gonna go. Oh, I thought Paige was gonna interrupt and come out. Well, in the words of like the Smackdown tradition, already by Daddy Long, we're gonna have a tag team match. And then the next fucking segment, she comes out. Oh, she goes backstage and goes, well, in the words of Teddy Long, we're gonna have a tag match.
Like, and does a dance, his little like dance and shit, right?
Because Teddy Long even owns up to that shit. I saw him at WrestleCon randomly yell at somebody last year. Like someone said something to him and he's like, "Oh, we're gonna have a tag team match. Don't mess with me right now," or something else. What else did he do? He's like, "Oh, you better not say that around me. I'll put you in a match with the Undertaker."
So he even knows.
Oh, he's well aware of the memes. Teddy Long is a cool ass dude. I told him, I'm like, congratulations for being in the Hall of Fame. I don't know why it took so long. He's like, oh, that's just white folks playing. You know how it is. I love this guy.
No, he's cool as shit. When me and Ibn went to WrestleMania 26, and we went to Access. And we were like filling out, you get to meet all the superstars, and they give you autographs, take pictures, and all that shit. We go, and some people are like, some people like you can tell like they're putting on smiles because like I'm here because I gotta be, and all that shit. Teddy Long was not like that. Teddy Long was like, we both go up, and it's obvious we're brothers because me and my brother look alike. For those of you who don't know, which is everybody, it's obvious we're brothers. We're in line, with each other waiting. And some people like take a picture, some people sign on. Teddy Long he was like, oh no, I want to make sure I get a picture with the brothers here. And he like put his arm, he like leaned over the like table, like put his arms around us and shit. Like no, he's like but he was like very much I want to make sure I get a picture with them and like leaned in and smiled and shit. He was cool as fuck, man. Now Teddy Long, he's cool as shit in real life, like straight up. Next match we have. So Shelton Benjamin is still fucking employed. Shelton Benjamin is just like John Morrison in the sense that they are some of the most exciting motherfuckers to watch wrestle. Ooh. But they suck on the mic. Oh my gosh. And I love both of them, but I mean, I haven't seen Shelton Benjamin wrestle in a minute, especially be on the mic even longer. Seeing Shelton Benjamin in this ring doing this little like promo, whatever, just reminded me just how much this dude is bad on the mic, man. Like, he comes out, he basically says, because him and Chad Gable were tagging, he comes out and he says, well, I know that I said I'd wish Chad Gable, best of luck on Raw, but my Twitter account got hacked. Ha 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 ha. Randy Orton comes out because basically, Shelton Benjamin is like, so who's gonna, answer my call to fight me? Randy Orton tries to come out, but then all of a sudden Jeff Hardy comes out, and now we find out that the United States Championship is back on SmackDown, and the Hardys are split up.
Yeah.
So this will be interesting. The last time they split the Hardys up years ago, back when Matt was doing his version 1 shit, Matt was on SmackDown. Jeff was on Raw.
Yeah.
Now years later when they come back, Jeff's on SmackDown, Matt is on Raw. So this will be interesting. Now
back then, don't shit on version 1 Matt Hardy. He could slap a tornado.
I'm not shitting on it. I didn't get to see much version 1 because we didn't really have too much UPN back then.
I actually didn't care about version 1 Matt Hardy. I just wanted to make a reference to his theme.
Well, he can drive the sea. I don't know if you knew that part.
Yeah. Lives for the moment. Ain't no with him. Anyway.
So obviously they're trying to do something with the Hardys though, because Jeff, even though he's solo, he's got the title. And like I said, they're doing the whole Bray Wyatt Woken shit with Matt, and they're going for the tag titles. So they're doing something with the Hardys. So this will be nice. They brought them back, and it was a big deal, and it's cool. Next, we realized that Absolution is announced to be on SmackDown. Moving on.
They traded teams.
Right. The Riot Squad moved, and then Absolution moved. Yay.
Yeah.
Luke Harper, so not the Bludgeon Brothers and the Usos together, but Luke Harper went up against Jay Uso. Another squash match. The fucking Bludgeon Brothers are beating the shit out of the New Day and or the Usos every week.
Yeah, dog. Berg. I see no problem with this.
Right. Luke Harper beat the shit out of Jay, and then they were beating him. They were beating up fucking. He's beating up Jay. They're going back. All of a sudden, Naomi fucking comes down. You hear out of nowhere, "No, stop!" And Naomi runs out and stops him. I do have to say this: the match itself wasn't bad. The match itself was cool. Naomi runs out to stop. I didn't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck about Naomi coming out to stop him. I know they're together in real life and all that. I get it, but I like Naomi. Like I said, I like the Usos. This end match shit was stupid to me though. I don't know how you felt about it.
Which match? Sorry.
The end match part with when Naomi came out to
I didn't like it. The crying.
Because like I said, I like the Usos. I like the Bludgeon Brothers. I like Naomi. The end match shit was dumb.
Yeah.
I could give a fuck. Next, we got Samoa Joe beat the snot out of fucking Sin Cara. Oh, shit. He ends up going over with the Coquina Clutch. And we basically find out that after Samoa Joe basically threatened Roman Reigns on Raw, now Samoa Joe's on SmackDown.
Which, I mean, Co-branded pay-per-views, so he can still fight him.
Oh yeah, and I think that putting Samoa Joe on SmackDown is actually a good idea. And the reason I feel that way is because they'll be able to give Joe better positioning because Raw right now is focused on too many. Yeah, yeah. And
oh man, we can have the double Samoa Joe thing going on. We could have the Samoan named Joe running things on Raw and Samoa Joe on SmackDown. Roman's real name is Joe, by the way. And
I didn't know.
And he's Samoan. So we have a rival. We have the Samoa Joe mirror match, pretty much the magic mirror match, if you will. But still,
Honestly didn't notice that Roman's real name was Joe.
yeah. So that's why I made the joke. I think last time we had the Samoan named Joe versus Samoa Joe.
Well, shit. But no, I think it'd be good for Samoa Joe because they can, like you said, they're focusing on Roman so much that they can actually like fucking focus on Joe a little bit. Now, will they pull the trigger and turn him face? I don't know. He's gonna get cheered every time he comes out, so it doesn't matter. Then we find out that Sanity, and this is when I say you got to help me out again, man. You got to help me out
NXT.
again. Do you know enough about Sanity? Do we care about them?
Some people do. I didn't watch enough NXT to care.
Okay, because I don't know. I've heard of Sanity.
Killian Dade is kind of scary. Did you see that ladder match?
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, like I saw NXT Takeover. I saw the opening and the closing match, and then he's a big ass dude, and that dude. Yeah, no, you're right. He's scary enough, and he's part of Sanity. We'll see what this means. Neither one of us can actually go in and say what this means right now, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Big Cass returns. Talk shit about Daniel Bryan.
Oh boy.
Enzo and Cass obviously ain't shit no more.
I was like, it's the lesser half of Enzo and Cass.
Does Big Cass mean shit by himself, man? Help me out here, dude.
He had a heel turn when they broke up, and he was just fighting Enzo for a while, and then he tore his ACL.
But what I'm saying is, are you excited? Okay. Before I could even finish. Because, well, I was going to say, are you excited? But yeah, okay.
All right, we'll see what happens, because technically we haven't seen him do something involved with that wasn't involved with Enzo Amore. But Enzo Amore was definitely the better part of that team. And as a tag team, they worked real well with the dynamic because he just had his whole decent enough in the ring, fight style. I'm not going to shit on his fighting style in the ring and shit. Better than I am, whatever. But not necessarily the best on the mic. But when all you have to do is say the catchphrase,
right?
And kind of like Billy Gunn and Road Dogg, where Road Dogg said everything, and then Billy Gunn just comes in at the end with his. And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. That's literally what Big Cass was. Was the if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you.
I don't know. Yeah, the dynamic worked out because when Enzo and Cass first debuted on Raw, I was still very much listening to the Steve Austin show, and Cass basically said the dynamic in a nutshell and why it works. He said you got the little guy coming out running his mouth, and you got the big dude there to pretty much kind of like be the strong like dude and enforce it. It works so much.
Back it up.
Exactly. And then just the dynamic of this one dude in the wrestling tights, like the underwear or whatever, like looked like he's ready to wrestle. But then this other dude wearing all this crazy ass shit.
The visually confusing individual that is Enzo Amore.
Yeah, like the 2 of them like opposite. It's like, who the fuck is this dude? And then this dude who looks like serious.
You had the wrestler and the charisma. Like
basically. And I mean, I don't know. The 2 of them together worked well. We'll see what Cass. I'm not gonna shit on Cass, but we'll see what Cass can do by himself. Man.
Yeah. I'm just also not a fan. Like, while I like the Berg type characters, the blah, I'm a giant. My whole thing is I'm taller than you. It's a little more boring to me.
Yeah.
Because I've seen umpteen Big Show storylines where he decides to stop being interesting for a while and just go, I'm a giant over and over again.
Basically, Great Khali.
Yeah. But
Basically, Great
now I
Khali.
will say Cass is better than Khali.
I mean, I'm not gonna shit on Khali, but I guess I am. Who isn't? Like, let's just be honest.
I mean, I like Khali, but when people pointed out to me that the man can't move, you start
He was just
noticing, oh yeah, he can't move.
he was big for big sake, and they were like, "Oh shit, okay, let's do this. Let's do something with this." That's
Yeah.
really all it was.
It's like, how do you not turn this guy into a fucking superstar? Look at him.
And I mean, I get it. He was also in fucking around that time. He was in The Longest Yard,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he was
because
in
it's
the.
like, look at him. He's taller than Big Show and was in better shape, at least appearance wise.
Mhm. But no, he was in The Longest Yard, and he was in Get Smart when they made the movie Get Smart with like
Yeah,
fucking The Rock and Anne Hathaway and Steve Carell and shit.
yeah,
So he was getting some like notoriety.
yeah.
He just turned
'Cause,
kind of flop.
I mean, look at him.
Um, I know. Next we got Carmella. Hey, I'm liking Carmella, man. This shit is like I'm actually liking this shit. She is being a pretty decent heel, I think. So Carmella comes out and she basically has a celebration to talk about how she won the SmackDown Women's Championship by myself. That shit is funny as fuck.
Yeah,
Because
it'll be even
you know
better.
damn well.
Again, I have no problem with her cashing in the Money in the Bank. It's just everything, the situation involved with it,
No, I know. I feel you.
especially given
I'm
what's about to be mentioned and happening.
exactly, and I was just about to bring that up. Carmella as a whole and what they're doing with her character, I'm actually really liking it though. And everybody was talking about when they brought Enzo and Cass up without her because it was originally Enzo, Cass, and Carmella, and everybody was like, "Wow, Enzo and Cass debuted on Raw and she stayed on NXT," and it's like, "Why are you breaking them up?" Carmella probably happy that they brought Enzo and Cass up without her as now because now she can take her own way and Enzo and Cass kind of ain't doing shit. So
Yeah, though I haven't really seen her wrestle, so I don't know how good she is.
wrestling wise, I don't know, but what she's doing right now in between with the heel stuff, I'm kind of digging it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so yeah, so then Charlotte and the Iconics come out. Becky Lynch comes out of fucking nowhere, like kind of returns a little bit to like SmackDown. We hadn't seen her in a little bit, and she comes out to basically save because faces help faces and heels help heels in the world of wrestling. Then Charlotte fights one of the Iconics, Billie Kay.
Mm-hmm.
Becky Lynch and Peyton Royce, the other Iconic, are on ringside. And then after Charlotte wins, and the Iconics are beating up on Charlotte and Becky Lynch, then something that I know made Pete happy.
Carmelo also joined in on the beating up.
Oh yeah. The Iconics and Carmella are beating up Becky Lynch and Charlotte, and then something I know made your ass happy. The newest superstar shakeup at that moment, Asuka came out to save Charlotte.
Yeah. So she's even on the show now. It's like,
and she just saved the person that she lost the title to.
well, they had her and Shinsuke both lose, and they had the different reactions to it. Asuka with mutual respect, with the congratulations, and Shinsuke with the punch to the dick for eternity.
That might as well be Shinsuke's new finisher.
This is the punch to the dick.
And not just
instead of knee to face, it's punch to dick.
And not just his finisher shouldn't just be like a fucking like low blow. It should be specifically the low blow to AJ Styles. So like whoever he's fighting, he low blows AJ.
He just walks away from the match and punches AJ in the dick.
He's fighting Jeff Hardy. He fucking finds AJ backstage, Lobos him, and runs back out. No, but yeah, so Oscar comes out and makes the save. I don't know if you have any more you want to say about this, man, before we move on. I feel
Not
like
really. I just don't like the whole way they broke the streak thing, and I'm gonna move on.
yeah, because they're everything they're doing after the fallout they could have done if they let Oscar win.
Yep.
So,
yeah, they could have.
Yeah. Then we find out the Bar is now on SmackDown. I'm not sure how I feel about this.
Especially since they're about to fight for the Raw Tag Team Championships.
Is that what they? Oh shit, they are right. So this kind of pretty much drills home. Excuse me. This kind of pretty much drills home that they're not going to win.
Yeah, because you have two people. You have two teams that are definitely on SmackDown fighting for the SmackDown Championship, and then you have a team that's on Raw and a team that's on SmackDown fighting for the Raw Tag Team Championship.
Well, I kind of pretty much.
So you can't even do a double switch. Because you can do a double switch with the United States and Intercontinental.
Yeah.
Because Jinder and Jeff, I think, have a rematch in Saudi Arabia. So Jinder could win the United States Championship and bring it back to Raw. Meanwhile, you have, I think, a fatal four-way ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship containing two people from SmackDown and two people from Raw. So technically, one of those SmackDown people could win, like The Miz. And, what? That's his title now, pretty much. He's like a couple days away from being the longest cumulative reigning Intercontinental Champion ever.
Wow.
And he's one reign away from tying Jericho for most reigns.
Shit.
Yeah. Suddenly, like, it sneaks up on you, but Miz has done a lot.
He's done a fucking lot. The only thing that Miz hasn't really done is he only main evented WrestleMania one time, and it was a shitty ass WrestleMania match.
Okay, I thought you're gonna be like, one thing he hasn't done is like won the title at WrestleMania. Like, actually, he beat John Cena for the title at WrestleMania.
No, but I was gonna say he only main evented one time. But I was gonna say, but how many WrestleMania matches has he really had?
A lot.
Really?
Yeah.
I know Miz and Morrison had some. I know that much.
He's had a lot of matches. He's one of the longest tenured people on the roster, actually. Again, it sneaks up on you, but yeah, because he doesn't miss time due to injury. Anytime that he misses time, it's to record like one of the fucking WWE straight to DVD movies like The Marine or some Christmas special or some shit like that. Or, I don't know, go home and, like, you know, be the father of his kid or some shit. But the bottom line is he doesn't miss time he has not missed time due to injury, which is another thing he brought up when Daniel Bryan was calling his wrestling style, you know, pretty much a pussy way of fighting and cowardice. He's like, I'm sorry, I'm still wrestling. I didn't concuss myself into retirement.
Yeah, no, I saw that shit. He went in on his ass, man. What was I saying? But yeah, the Bar. I was not expecting Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt to lose because of what they're doing right now, and Matt Hardy, especially Matt Hardy, but Matt Hardy and Bray Wyatt, but especially Matt. I wasn't expecting them to lose, but I still think the Bar could have been captivating just as much and deserved to be on Raw.
Well, their reasoning did make sense.
Which was?
Going into WrestleMania, the whole reason the fucking Braun Strowman thing with Nicholas happened. Mm-hmm. They had beaten the division, with the exception of the Authors of Pain. They had beaten the division. Mm-hmm. There was no.
So now they get to go and get more competition.
Yeah, the only thing to beat them was fucking Braun fucking Strowman, because it's Braun fucking Strowman, and I guess he decided me want tag team title match. Again, back to the whole John Cena match in WrestleMania. John Cena can't get a match. It's really easy to just go, me want WrestleMania match. It's really fucking easy.
Right.
If you got that kind of stature. But
fucking
anywho,
fucking Nicholas. Hey man, hey Nicholas, more power to you, Nicholas. I am. Hey, you Nicholas, you've done something that I haven't
wish I
done
could have
and
done as
probably
a kid.
and probably will never do. And you got the fucking title, and you got that shit before you even graduated elementary school.
I
So
know,
more power
right?
to you.
I'm telling
Like,
you, him, and fucking. I'm sorry, I don't know the kid's name.
I think his nickname is JJ. It's like Jared JJ something.
Yeah, the little black kid.
Yeah.
They need to grow up, become athletic, and go into WWE as the most entitled fucking assholes ever because of
It'll be
shit that
like,
they did when they were a kid. I won the tag team championship at age 10. Fuck you. Just fuck the details. Kind of do the Carmella / typical heel thing of fuck the details. I did this. And the other guy's like, yeah, it's because
like
I
fucking
had a disease and it was the you survived the disease award. But I don't care. I was in the Hall of Fame at age 7. I come into the WWE already a Hall of Famer. Fuck you. Some people wrestle their whole life and don't become a Hall of Famer. I was a Hall of Famer before I even wrestled.
And then Nicholas over here, like I'm the youngest champion, period. Like
Exactly, man. That
whatever
shit.
the championship is, period. So yeah.
Yeah, fuck
Um,
the details. Fuck the fact that I had broken ass Braun Strowman win it for me. I'm still the
right.
youngest champion ever. I did that shit at age 10. The sky's the limit. I come in
Fucking
already more accomplished than you. I'm a fucking Hall of Fame.
bro.
Oh my god. This kid needs to grow up and be the Hall of Famer
You're so
especially
hype about
needs
this
to
shit.
grow up.
Like it's a storyline 15 years in the making.
Yes. It's such a thing, just like fuck you. I'm literally just adding to my fucking Hall of Fame career.
Dude, if 10 to 15 years from now that shit happens with them two, I am going to fucking be fucking like really. I'm probably if I remember, if me and you remember and we happen to be chilling together one day, I'm gonna look at you and be like, this shit actually fucking happened.
It's the beauty of
Like,
the internet, dog. Footage of us saying it will be out there.
true. Next segment we got New Day and Todd Gillinger run into R-Truth. R-Truth is now on Raw. I mean, now on SmackDown.
Yeah.
This, I thought this was good because the reason why I like this is because we got the 3 black dudes in the New Day who basically do whatever the fuck they want with R-Truth. And if we remember from years ago when they were pushing the shit out of R-Truth and he was the hottest heel on Raw or the WWE period, we know what R-Truth can do.
Yeah.
If they put the 4 of them together, this shit could really go somewhere. Because we got 3 dudes who do all this crazy shit, and then we got this motherfucker who's literally crazy.
Yeah.
And then we put together. This could make for some good shit. Put it on SmackDown, let it, kind of mold and fester into something, see where it goes.
Well, I remember one thing that our roommate Mike wanted him to do, and I kind of wanted him to do too a long time ago, was because of how big of fucking fans of the goddamn Dragon Ball series and stuff the New Day are. Like, they came out in fucking sand armor at a fucking WrestleMania once. I wanted them to come out. He's like, I wanted to just take Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann from fucking the Cruiserweight division. Just have the 5 of them and just be like pretty much Black Man Ginyu Force.
Ginyu Force. Yeah. No, I saw that. They came out of a box of Bootios. I saw that shit.
Yeah. You ever had Bootios?
No.
They're
What do
Lucky
they?
Charms.
Okay, I'm about to say they don't taste like booty. I hope they don't taste like booty.
I've not tasted the booty.
I've never tasted booty, but
I'm not trying to taste booty.
I never fucking tasted half that shit that they got in the Bean Boozled shit for Harry Potter, but somebody had to taste it to make sure it tasted right.
Yeah.
The Bean Boozled shit where it's like earwax, the jelly bean, where you don't know if you're eating like earwax or like
that shit.
Where it's like is this toothpaste or is this blueberry? Like that shit. Is this vomit or?
Nah.
And I mean, the vomit jelly bean will literally make you throw up. It's disgusting. Anyway, but no, R-Truth being on SmackDown is good, and then him fucking with the New Day was a good way, I think, for them to do that. And what was funny was he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm on Raw. Wait, oh shit, this is SmackDown. Okay, I'll see y'all tomorrow." And it's like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? So yeah. Um, you got to help me out with this. Although this is NXT, so maybe you don't know. Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega are now on SmackDown.
You don't know who that is?
That I'm about to say, that doesn't mean anything to me.
I just say, did you watch Takeover?
All I saw from Takeover was the opening match and the closing match.
Oh, you should have seen the fucking match before that too.
Oh,
No, Almas is legit. He's had quite a few like high ranking matches this year in the past year or so. He's fucking legit.
Okay, so this will be interesting.
No, he's good. Now, granted, I'm pretty sure the main event and the ladder match were better than his match with Aleister Black, but it was still a really good match, and he's just overall good. I like the fact that he's main roster now.
I do know who Aleister Black is because I saw. I happened to catch this match of another takeover. I believe it was Velveteen Dream and Aleister Black.
Oh, okay.
Where Velveteen Dream was trying to get Aleister Black to say his name, and at the end of the match, he finally did. Aleister Black had a good showing in that. Velveteen Dream is captivating as shit, though, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
My first time seeing Velveteen Dream was that ladder match. I'm like, what the hell? Oh, okay, that's what the hell.
Yeah,
Velveteen.
It'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Velveteen when he finally gets called up.
More Velveteen, please. I'm sorry. That's all I thought. But whenever I would hear the name Velveteen Dream was Ovaltine.
Drink your Ovaltine.
Like for the longest, I'm like, is it because he's black and he likes Ovaltine? And I'm like, oh wait.
That's what you thought?
I'm like, I didn't get the term Velveteen Dream. It's just like, oh, fucking Ovaltine shit. Okay, why not? Velveteen Dream, they rhyme. And then I'm like, oh, Velveteen Dream. Okay, I'm done.
Like Velvet, like the Velveteen Rabbit. Like, the fuck, dude? Like, no.
The Ovaltine Rabbit? I didn't know. That's the Trix Rabbit, you silly.
See? Anyway, next match. Last match of the night, the tag match that Paige made. AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan ended defeating Alexander Rusev, not Alexander. Because we only one name.
He lost his first name a long time ago.
And Aiden English. The match ended up in disqualification because Shinsuke Nakamura once again
just punches AJ in the
Shinsuke Nakamura once again low blow the shit out of AJ Styles. But then I gotta say, man, so when I was watching this, I had to rewind and watch what happened again because this match was just it put me to sleep. And then I woke up and I was like, oh shit, Big Cass and Shinsuke came out. I had to rewind and watch it.
Yeah. No, I liked the match.
The match wasn't that good from where I was.
It wasn't like OMG 5-star pay-per-view quality match, but I liked it.
From what I saw, man. But yeah, so Shinsuke came out and then they're giving Big Cass more of a fucking push because Big Cass came out after this and then he fucking kicked Daniel Bryan around a little bit. Yeah. So I was looking at something and they were saying that it's interesting what they're doing with Big Cass with Daniel Bryan or whatever, but from what I saw, the person that I looked at on YouTube, they said that Daniel Bryan has stated that he wants to work with the new up-and-coming talent.
Yeah.
Like, he said that because he's established and he wants to give new up-and-coming talent, more of a rub and a push and shit.
That makes sense. He comes from the indie circuit thing. So,
right.
The little guys, he's always going to favor. Hence, which was the whole thing with his whole, like, not really heel, but he's helping to heal things with the Yep thing with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. He's like, they might be doing this, but, you can't just pick on the indie guys because they're indie guys. Come on. You can't hold the indie guys back.
It makes sense in the sense of he's trying to help out the new guys. Big Cass, though, I will say, because out of the 4 people involved in this little excursion or whatever, 3 of them are over as shit. So Big Cass has a lot riding on his shoulders to see what happened with him. So
Yeah, and it's pretty much going to be Big Cass versus Daniel Bryan because we know the other two want to fight each other.
yeah, it's gonna be a lot of dick punching.
I say you can only be punched in the ball so many times before you just like,
Johnny,
okay, enough. Usually that time is
Johnny
one.
Cage.
Johnny
Cage.
All
All right, pretty much.
Fucking MK screams. I fucking love those.
He is constantly hitting this dude in the nuts. If you actually
And
think
then he
about
just fucking holds it there. Like he punches him in the nuts and he just holds the fucking elbow there like, look what I did. I punched him in the dick.
Oh shit.
And then as he's leaving, Renee asks him again why he did it. He just goes, "No, speak English with the nail this time."
Yeah. So basically, now we have from the news, thanks to Superstar Shakeup, all the new people on SmackDown. The Miz, who was with Maurice and his kid,
Instead
so that's
of
why
being on the show.
Yeah, which was funny when he cursed and she was like, "Miz." That was funny.
Mike.
No,
She fucking
Mike.
She real named him.
Right, she's not gonna call him Miz, right? But no, so the Miz is on SmackDown. Jeff Hardy, after winning the fucking championship, Jeff Hardy brought it back to SmackDown. Absolution, which is Sonya Deville and Mandy Rose. Samoa Joe, Sanity, Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, Killian Dane. Big Cass, Oscar, The Club, which Anderson and Gallows.
I forgot about that. Fucking the club comes out. Finn Balor comes out on Monday. And he's like, Corey Graves like, oh yes, go, everyone's happy because the Bullet Club is for everybody. And Coach is like, or no, Michael goes like, you mean the Balor Club? Oh yeah, oops.
Oh,
I don't know what came over me.
Because the Bullet Club was on the Indies, wasn't it?
Well, Bullet Club is still a thing. It's New Japan Pro.
Oh, right.
Going on, and Finn Balor as Prince Devitt was the original leader of it. So that's what this whole Balor Club thing's a reference to. And Luke Gallows and Anderson calling themselves the Club is because they were founding members of the fucking Bullet Club as well. AJ Styles was also formerly a member, or formerly a leader of the Bullet Club.
So he said the Bullet Club. It's like,
yeah, he's like, Bullet Club is for everybody. Ooh, it's actually an active copyright right now.
Coach is kind of fucking up lately.
No, Corey said Bullet Club.
Excuse me.
Yeah, Corey said Bullet Club, and he's like, "Oh man, I don't know. Maybe I was like projecting something. I don't know."
And then we have The Bar, who is Sheamus and Cesaro on SmackDown. R-Truth. I'm gonna fuck this dude's name up every time I say it. Andrade Cien Almas and Zelina Vega. So those are everybody on SmackDown. All in all, this was a decent episode. Like I said last week, everything was basically new person squash. This was actually Superstar Shakeup, but these matches were actually, I think, worth something. So I was not unhappy with this episode of Raw and SmackDown.
Not at all.
And it'll be interesting to see what happens next week with the go home episodes for both brands, because then 2 days after SmackDown next week at 11 a.m. in my time, 12 p.m. Your time, Eastern, Pete, it's going to be the fucking greatest Royal Rumble. So
yep,
that'll be interesting. This is a brand new type of deal for fucking WWE, and it'll be very interesting to see what they do with this shit. But like I said, they're not treating it with the whole bullshit of we're going to somewhere where people don't normally see us, so we're just gonna put on some bullshit matches. They're treating this fucking seriously.
Well, when the leader of a country says, "Give me a show,"
they're putting it on for
give
this,
them a show,
man. Like, I don't know. We will be talking about the Greatest Royal Rumble and our thoughts on that and everything, match breakdown, whatnot, next week though.
when everything's finalized and it's not Rusev's fighting the Undertaker, JK it's Jericho, JK it's Rusev.
Let's Rusev again. Oh my god. So we're gonna talk about that next week. We probably won't get to greatest because of when we record this. We probably won't get to Greatest Royal Rumble aftermath until week following, but we'll see.
Yeah.
It'll be pretty touch and go. Before we leave, go ahead. What are you gonna say?
I said, "Yep."
Yep. Before we leave, I do want to say, well, two things. One, it's none of my business, but John Cena and Nikki Bella they called up their don't laugh, damn, you cold-hearted motherfucker.
I don't give a damn. You know why I'm laughing? Do you know why I'm laughing?
Because a year ago he proposed to her in front of everybody.
No, not just the proposal. Not just the proposal. The fact that proposal was the end of a storyline. A storyline where the whole time The Miz and Maurice were talking about how fake their fucking relationship was and that it wasn't going to amount to anything and this was all fake. John Cena's never going to actually marry her. And I actually marry her. And they're like, haha, we'll prove you wrong at WrestleMania. And then a year later, Miz is right. That's why I'm laughing. Besides, they're rich and athletic. I'm pretty sure they'll find love with someone else. I don't feel that bad for them.
Well, I was gonna say, John Cena said like her actual like real government full name and everything too when he did
it. Yeah, because they like blurring the lines between things these days.
Right. But no. So John Cena, and Nikki Bella, and they broke up. Apparently, they broke up a few weeks before they were supposed to get married. Like, this is a few weeks before they were actually supposed to get married, and Cena called the engagement off. So,
that's unfortunate, yes, but it is unfortunate. A few weeks before the marriage, sad boys and all that. But the fact that Miz was right is why I was laughing.
A lot of people are actually saying that damn Miz was right too. A lot of people are saying that shit.
Again, the man just speaks the truth. The man just speaks the truth.
Well, I was gonna say too, real quick before we close out. Now, this is serious. It is, what is it? April 19th, 2018. As of yesterday, a legend, Bruno Sammartino, died.
I saw that on Twitter while we were talking, but I didn't want to look up to verify. And yes, that is very sad.
Bruno Sammartino died at the age of 82.
Well, that is sad. It is sad that he died, and it is sad that he is a legend that died. If I'm going to be completely honest, I can't say I watched a lot of Bruno, so it's not as sad for me. I am still. It's always unfortunate to have somebody die, but it's not like. I'm not saying this to shit on the fact that he's dead or anything. Right. I know other people are more sad than I am. I just kind of wish that I watched more or knew more about him so I could feel the full empathy of the moment.
Me and you, because of our age, unless we go back and look at the stuff, we don't know that much about Bruno Sammartino like other people. We just don't because of our age. Like, I'm 27, you're 31. So it's just par for the course. But still, he is a legend.
I'm not denying that he's a legend. He's fucking Bruno Sammartino.
A little bit from what I know, he, like I said, he died at 82, but he was like a big proponent in the WWF, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation, and he is most notably known for having the title for 11 years.
Yeah.
I believe I believe he had 2 reigns. I could be wrong about that, but I know that he didn't have that many, which means that his reigns were around the time when they had territories, and his reigns lasted for years. Like
Yeah.
he had the title for years at a fucking time.
Yeah, that's
And
why
he
they
was a
put
big,
that whole modern era thing on CM Punk's longest reign.
yeah, right. Because
Because but at the
nobody,
same time,
nobody touching that
it's
shit.
yeah, and again, not taking anything from Bruno,
Mm-hmm.
blah blah blah. Can't
Mm-hmm.
speak ill of the dead and all that. I know. I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying mainly that Bruno, uh, technically did wrestle in a different time where it wasn't, hey, here's like 50 matches a year you're fighting for the title, you know,
Mm-hmm.
every, or you know what I mean. You're not fighting for the title as often because wrestling wasn't nearly as big a thing. It was more like boxing or MMA treated back then. It was like once every few months. Hey, here's the champion. Whatever. Kind of like how Brock Lesnar is treating the title now.
Yeah,
Is
every
how
now and then.
everybody treated wrestling back then. So
Right.
again, still impressive. 11 years is 11 fucking years, but it's why like when you put things into perspective, it's like, well, which one seems more crazy? That you kept it a year fighting like 4 times as much, or that you kept it 4 years fighting a fourth of the time as much?
Um, but yeah. Well, and from what I heard about Mr. San Martino, a lot of people have said that he was big in like bringing a lot of popularity to the sport back in the day.
Oh, he
Period. Too.
did. Again, I'm not shitting on the guy. He's
I'm
great.
not. I'm not saying it to say that you are. I'm just throwing it out there. So yeah. So rest in peace, Bruno San Martino. Say what you want about the WWE Hall of Fame, but they buried the hatchet, and he is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So, and they made a statue in his honor for some stuff too, as far as WWE goes. So yeah. All right. So that is it for Call It in the Ring podcast for this edition. We will see you all next week for the go home for the Greatest Royal Rumble. And then we will see you week after that for what happened in the aftermath of the Greatest Royal Rumble. So, as always, appreciate you all for listening. And I mean, hey, if you got to call it audible, you can always call it in the ring. That's my new catchphrase. Hello?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. He was quiet. I was like, don't tell me the signal cut out. Okay.
All right.
That's my new catchphrase.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a good one.